Yo, what's up with it? It's your boy Noonie. It's Leo in the third house, and we back with another reading.
Yo, what's up with it? It's your boy Noonie, and it's Leo in the third house, back with another reading. This is going to be another pick a card reading. We're going to be asking the question, how did your toxic traits help you? Or something along that line. I'm making a better title. But the intention is to see how those toxic traits that I mentioned in the prior reading, how those toxic traits have actually benefited you and how they are currently benefiting you. So I'm taking a negative and we're turning it into a positive, giving it a positive spin. Okay? Damn, I'm looking kind of brolic right now. Yo, so it was like a great day today, for real. I got a couple more personal readings I need to do. I need to get this out the way so that way I could use some of these oracles. So I need to do this first. I was supposed to do it this morning, but I was a lot busy. You know, I'd be resting. I'd be tired. So, as always, thanks to those people who be liking, sharing, subscribing, getting involved, commenting. You know, I'll be trying to be in there with y'all, get involved, say what I can. I'll be a lot busier than what I intended to be these days, but I'm doing my best, and I appreciate you guys being here with me while I do my best. So here we are with the full piles. This here, I don't know what stone this is, but it's a star. It's a nice star. So, right, and then here, this is blue calcite. Y'all. And then this is petrified wood. Okay. And then this here is green adventurine, the rough kind. All right, green adventurine. So take a look at these piles, see which one or ones resonate with you, and then pick your pile. I'm gonna get started over here with pile 1. Boom, pile 1. So, pile 1. How have your toxic traits helped you this far? Oh, okay. Helped out with your belief system and your creative ability, possibly. Ooh, made you a little bit tighter, a little bit more shrewd. Okay. So these are some of the behaviors you were into. We'll get to that at the end. Well, I guess we could start that now because that might be kind of important. Some of the toxic behaviors that you were involved in, which would be most so being very over analytical or very strategic, but sneakily, you know, for your own personal gain. Being a person who is very, I would say, self-deceptive, where you don't see the truth in maybe your lies or in the mistakes that you made. You're very self-deceptive, as well as being a person who's very on guard or very standoffish, you know, very timid, not moving forward on things that you really want to move forward to. Like you're not as passionate about things, where it's like you have a passion to do things, but you don't really take the step to do so because you're afraid of failure. So you had that, as well as this, because look, the 9 of Wands with the 7 of Pentacles gives me an energy of being afraid to go after things if they're not going to produce the results that you want. So you're afraid of failure. And then you have an energy of you being very nostalgic or very caring or very just kind of stuck in the past, like dreamy, emotionally stuck and stagnant, you know, worrying about what happened in the past, things that didn't pan out or play out in your favor. So you might have been like a tight ass or person, you know, it says tight ass here, so I say that. But you might have been a person who was a bit uptight, a person who needed to take a little bit more balance or take a little bit more time to yourself, so that way you wouldn't be quite afraid or worried if things didn't go in your favor. That might have been some of your toxic traits. But what you got from that is a breakthrough, a change in the way that you see things with this Uranus energy. Also, you learn how to be more of a mediator. You learn how to negotiate with people, how to be more sociable. It also taught you how to be more sensible. It polished you, those rougher edges of yours, because you got Libra energy here, so you could be a Libra. You learn how to balance out situations and we're okay with things that don't produce the fruit that you were looking for. I get an energy of you now being more open to just experimenting and just seeing where things can go. You got believing in the possible. And in this rate, I'm feeling, at this point, I'm feeling of more of the impossible is kind of like seeing opportunities that don't exist now. Now you're more open to possibilities or chances that didn't exist before. You have this Lilith with the idea here, mental ideas. So this is like some type of, you came up with new ideas or new ways of being. The ideas that you had, you learned to guard them. The thoughts that you kept, you learned to guard them and protect them. The things that you birthed, things that you create or that you care about, you know now to protect them because other people want to harm them. You grew up more likely in an area where you felt like you had to protect yourself a lot, or you were just in an environment at a younger age where you felt like the things that you really cared about, you always had to keep secure because other people were either constantly trying to take them from you or they were constantly trying to destroy them or criticize you for doing them. And more likely it's for your ideas or the way that you thinking, the way that you thought, but that because you no longer are feeling so timid about that or so worried about, overthinking situations. Now you become more of a diplomat. You're very harmonious with people. You're no longer worrying about how far situations will go. It's like a breakthrough in the way that you see things. You're now more pleasant, more outgoing, more charismatic, more talkative. You do have an energy of a little bit more like a secretive energy, but it's not super secretive. Oh, that's what the secret is. The secret is you don't talk as much. You don't speak about the ideas or the things that you care about as much. It's a Scorpio energy with the ideas. So this means that you more so keep the things that are important to you hidden or tucked away. You learn to guard your ideas, to protect your ideas. This also taught you to evolve. It evolved you spiritually and gave you more of a feeling of self-worth as well as a stronger intuition and a trusting in the universe. Because it's believing in the impossible, it's believing in all opportunities, believing in anything that seems like it cannot be accomplished. Now you have an energy of understanding things. You've gotten over being shameful. You've gotten over this feeling of where things wouldn't change. Now you're in the energy of attracting only what's in your highest good, and you're in the energy of feeling very cherished. And that's probably because of this Libra energy now of knowing how to be very harmonious with other people and not having a certain expectation for the outcome of interactions with other people. It's like a breakthrough where you're just being genuine. You're just there to enjoy yourself. You're no longer stuck in this energy of being which is like overly emotional or overly attached to situations. You have that nostalgia feeling where there's a what is the feeling? It's not just nostalgia. It's a feeling called, it's not principle, but it's like, you just feel like this is the right thing to do. It's comfort. It's a comfort zone. It's like you're getting outside of those comfort zones now. There's energy of you feeling good enough. So you could be a Virgo, you could be a Libra, you could be a Scorpio, or you could be an Aquarius. That's some of the energies I got here, but you don't have to be, because all that means now is that you're more secretive and you're more analytical or more, because Virgo is a sign of being an Scorpio. There are signs of being able to people watch. They can pick up human body language. They pick up, human cues, just by watching. So now you pick that up, and that's part of this Libra of knowing how to be harmonious with other people. You know how to pick up the vibes now. Now you understand people, and now you have an understanding of like being comfortable alone or comfortable within yourself. This is like a home within yourself. This evolution is that feeling comfortable and balanced within yourself. But now you're understanding how to balance out relationships as well, the fair, equal give and take. So this is some of the things that you've picked up from those negative traits that you once had before. Or even if you're still having them, this is what you've picked up from those toxic traits. You've learned how to integrate them in a way that is actually working for you in your favor. It's taught you what your self-worth is, and it's actually tapped you into your own level of consciousness. It's not necessarily your intuition. This is your crown chakra. So it's tapped you in more with spirit, and this is what's actually evolved you. All right, now you're more open and going with the flow, and you're more jovial. That's the word that came out, more jovial. You could be a little bit very insightful, like very, very, not insightful, very, it's like, damn, I want to say precise kind of, but it's like the way that you see things, it's analytical, but it's like, maybe it's concise. You're very sure, like, you pick apart the things that really matter now. You know how to interact or how to get into situations with people, how to like put yourself into a relationship, friendship, work, whatever. Where your place is, and you're not there to really rock the boat. You're there to offer some type of service. You're there to be protective and caring and nurturing as well. Even though Scorpio energy isn't super nurturing, Scorpio energy is very protective of the people that they care for. And Libra is very giving and very sociable and very pleasing of the people they care for. So is Virgo energy as well. Aquarius is humanitarian. So this is all gives me energy of you now being more of a person who is for the people, but still independent on their own. You know, you don't mind doing things on your own and being alone. You could be more of a loner, to be all the way honest, but you're just very, very outgoing when you do decide to go out into the world with other people. Whereas, with most of your negative traits, that was not how you traditionally were. But this is what has been taught, and this is what you've gained from those negative traits. All right, so here's your advice. We got 2 advices down here, 3 advices. So you have rainbow. It says, you are a jewel, even though you may not see it. Even in the darkest times, you shine eternally bright. You are surrounded by an aura of love, and a pot of gold awaits the horizon. All will clear soon. Trust and continue to follow your dreams. You are eternally blessed. And that was one of the advices. Then you have ancient shit is cool. You need some fucking yoga in your life. That's your advice. And then you have you equals tight ass. Loosen the fuck up. Control freaks don't get laid. So that's what you've been doing, getting over. It's getting over being in control. All right? Loosen the fuck up. That's what you're doing. So, part 1, that's what I got. Thanks for watching. This is your boy Noonie, and this is Leo in the 3rd house. Good? Yeah, it was. Boom. Part 2. So, part 2. How have your toxic traits helped you? Well, it was like that. We're going to leave it like that. Okay. So your toxic trait would be loving the people who were not sharing the same feeling or sentiments as you. All right. You'd be sharing feelings or being overly emotional with people who weren't quite, available, because you got the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. So these are people who weren't quite available or weren't having they weren't able to offer you or give to you. These are people who are like struggling with either finances or stability. They were lacking in some sort. And you were trying to balance out relationships with them, trying to offer or come into union with them with this 2 of Cups and this Ace of Pentacles. So there's energy of that, of you just kind of picking the wrong partners and trying to romantically date them or romantically engage them, offering like an overabundance or possibly overgiving. That's what I'm picking up here. Impulsive, being very impulsive with the way that you give. So maybe I just get the energy of just being an overgiver. All right, that's more so what I got. But what it did lead you into is a level of status. So you could be a Capricorn, you could be a Gemini, you could be an Aquarius, could be a Leo. That's the energy that I got. But you don't have to be those signs. You could just be very charming, very reliable, very steady, very communicative, very talkative, you could be very smart, and you can come off as maybe you don't really care too much, or you're not really there with people, like you're not really attached to how people see you or what they expect from you. You are a person who now is like quick to end things impulsively, fast. Now you'll end things. You'll end relationships very quickly. You'll detach with this Aquarius energy. So while you can be very loving, very overly giving, and very emotionally fulfilling to other people, you also know how to attach from them and show them who you really are. Conclusions are within reach with next to this impulsive. And then you have shit could get ugly. I mean, yeah, watch out. Shit could get ugly. So I get that, you can easily turn the switch on people and show them who the real you is now. So I'm getting that you're very good at talking and speaking and exposing the truth of how you feel about situations now. I get an energy of you now having more like understanding or concern for your public image or your integrity, because you got Capricorn energy here, as well as you being now more a self-lead, like a leader, because you got Capricorn and Leo energy, which are usually leaders in their own right. So I'm getting like you're very encouraging. You learn like to self-motivate yourself. You learn how to encourage other people, how to be genuine, how to give genuinely. So, okay, so I get it. You are overgiving basically to like fulfill, because, 5 of Pentacles could also be a fear of abandonment. So maybe you were a person who were dealing with a fear of abandonment. And so you may have overgave as a way to keep people in your life who may not necessarily matched up with you or had as many resources or weren't quite stable. These are people who might have left you out in the cold or left you like they might have been on the fence about you. because I kind of feel that energy of them coming together with you, whereas you were offering more than what they were offering. They were lacking. They were just giving the bare minimum, because the Five of Pentacles on their end of the Two of Cups. And on your end of the Two of Cups, you have the Ace of Cups. So you'd be overwhelmingly offering more than what they would. They would have 1 cup. You'd be offering 2 cups. And one of those cups would be twice the size of the 2 cups. So you definitely would be giving more in the relationships. And so now you're a person who's not afraid of ending or calling, conclusions, or calling quits at situations. Very quick to reset yourself and get started all over again. You got motivation here. You're a person now who knows where to start. So back then, you probably didn't know where to start when it was time to do things differently, or maybe even now, because you still might have these toxic traits. So you might still be a person who's not always quite sure where to start, but you still find an inner motivation to get going. You know how to encourage yourself, and you're very encouraging to other people. Now, like I said, you're very genuine with other people. You have a lot of potential, and now you have this level of authority. You know how to take control of situations, because I'm seeing both of these leadership cards with Capricorn energy and with this Leo energy. So with this Leo energy, that means that you're more devoted to family, and you're more committed to people who care about you, people who are part of your tighter knit circle. So now you actually you have a better group of people around you. The people that are around you now are more sincere and more genuine. They're also very sociable, and they're also very communicative with you, with this Gemini 3rd house. So this is people who are, all right, the 3rd house in astrology can also be considered as the neighborhood. So it's the people that you grew up close around, the people who are in your intimate circle. These can be considered your 3rd house people, your 3rd house family. So with this 3rd house, the people who are around you now are people who can see you clearly. People who, when you're around, they value your thoughts, they value your opinions, they value what you offer. So you found better groups of people. It showed you how to actually express who you truly are. There was a fear of being left behind or being left without, but now you're the person who does the leaving, if that makes sense. And you're quick to do it with this impulse. It's this is fire energy. This is thinking without action. Acting without thinking. That's who you would be about now in terms of relationships. It says thoughts can be sneaky. They're possibly lying bastards. It doesn't say possibly, but I just felt like I need to say possibly. It says thoughts can be sneaky, lying bastards. And that could be true. Because what it is now, it's this is energy of you always telling people who you really are, showing them who you really are with a detached feeling, where you're not afraid of situations coming to an end. You'll speak your truth. You'll speak your mind. Now you'll let things know, and you're not afraid of a reset. This is intuition right here. So you've worked this is strengthening your intuition. Your 3rd eye chakra has got on a beam now. You know what I mean? Now you know what's up with things. You're very clear. You can see things very clear. Your thinking processes are very clear. So now you're more logical. You're more logical than emotional based. Because you got Capricorn, Leo, and Aquarius energy, and they're not really the most They're not the most emotional signs. They're more of doers. They're more physical, and they're more I guess we can call it spiritual, because fire signs represent spirit in the physical form, but fire signs represent more so the desire or the want, the desire, the need to get things. And so you're a person now who's more so living in the masculine energy. Well, you have Capricorn energy here too, which is kind of feminine, but we're just going to say it's masculine at this point, because everything else here is more masculine, all right, except for Capricorn, which would be a feminine sign. But I'm just getting more of an energy of you being a go-getter. You're being in charge. You're taking the lead on things. You're now more reliable. You show up for people who you really care about. You have long-term goals. You learn now that what you want really in relationships. And now you show people who you truly are without a fear of situations ending. And that would be, the very best part about everything. You take action now. You feel more alive. That's what you got from these situations of being afraid of being left out. It actually made you become more, I'm not going to say a risk taker, but it made you become less afraid of endings and more so became the closer yourself. You became the person who does the endings. Go figure, right? So now it's you're a person who now feels new, alive, and you've learned to create your own reality. And I want to say with your communication or with your thoughts, but it more so probably came from you showing the world the real you. Being not being so attached to how you expect things to play out or how you expect things to be, not having your feelings so deeply involved into things where you can't really see the truth of what's really happening around you. That's the energy I'm getting. And the fact that you don't mind ending things very quickly is what you've gotten from those negative habits that you had before, or those toxic traits that you may still be exercising. What they brought about was a sense of trusting in your own intuition. Now you trust in what you feel is right for you to do, and you don't doubt it. So, pile 2, that's what, oh, wait. Got your advice. Let's do it your advice. Your advice says, prayer. Dear guardian angel, help me to believe that all is possible through love. Help me manifest my dreams and live an inspiring and fulfilling life. Help me to feel God's presence in every moment. Help me feel eternally loved. Thank you for always being by my side. All right, pile 2. That was your reading. Thanks for watching. This your boy Noonie, and this is Leo in the 3rd house. Boom, pile 3. So, pile 3. How have your toxic traits helped you? I see that. I can see that. This is pretty good. This is actually pretty great. So let's see what we can get out of this. Okay, so the toxic traits I'm getting you are in the energy of, what is this? Queen of Swords? No. Yep. Okay, so this is what I get. More so, you're a person who felt like you needed to always defend yourself. Felt like you were like holding on to like past regrets, past hurts, past resentments. Past endings, situations that had ended, but you just quite didn't let go of them or like release them. So you were holding on to resentments. That's a big thing here. You got 10 of Pentacles in reverse, Queen of Swords in reverse. I mean, not Queen of Wands, but Queen of Swords in reverse, 5 of Cups upright, 3 of Swords in reverse, and 7 of Wands upright. And so this is the energy of needing to like defend yourself, protect yourself. Feeling like you're always right. Or like you're the one who got the shitty end of the stick. Holding on. This is your energy of holding on, resentment, anger, frustration, feeling like people did you wrong, feeling like things that were stable ended suddenly. That's kind of like where you're at. And then still harping on those feelings that had already ended, like past situations that had already ended. So what that did for you, this is a very powerful reading, right? What that did for you is made you become more analytical about the emotional traumas and the feelings that you were experiencing, because you have this work through your fears. And this comes with deep trauma, deep emotional hurts that you've been holding on and hoarding or harboring for a very long time. And so it made you actually take time out and commit to yourself, because your commitment is being tested. This made you actually look at the confusion and actually try to put it into a level of stability, like gain some type of level of stability and recognize the patterns. This is the great part about that. So this has actually changed your beliefs. Now you have an energy of trusting in yourself. All right. Because that might have been what probably was stopping you from, you might have felt like you always needed to defend yourself, like people always leave you out, or people are always hurting you or disappointing you, or situations just don't be the way that you hope. Because 5 of Cups could also be a level of betrayal, emotional betrayal, like being let down, or playing with my feelings in a sense. So it could be that as well. So it's a resentment from things not happening the way that I expected them to be. That 4 of Cups before 5 of Cups is usually accepting something that doesn't quite match what I expected it to be, but I'm taking it anyway. And then the 5 of Cups comes along because I was disappointed that I took something that I really didn't want in the first place. And so that's kind of like the energy of what you were dealing with. You were dealing with some of the things that you just normally didn't want to deal with, or you didn't want to accept because you felt like they were less than, or they weren't as of value to you as you expected them to be, but you were taking them. And it always led you in a position where you felt like you needed to defend yourself or guard yourself or prove that you had the moral high ground in all situations, And maybe you might have, but what it did was cause you to like take a look at the confusion and look at the patterns and the cycles that you were going through. And it caused you to gain a level of stability and recognize these situations and actually use this Virgo energy to start working hard and pay attention to what's going on, pay attention to the details. It boosted your confidence. It made you start working through your fears in those areas where you were afraid of new change or afraid of letting go of those past hurts and those resentments. It made you start facing those situations and moving through that. It caused you to break it up with this disseminating moon. It caused you to break it up and integrate it, allow it to flow through your body, and cause you to actually interpret or actually to internalize those feelings and those emotions and allow them to dissipate throughout the body and move on. So that way you could break it up and get some new energy moving in. Your commitment was being tested. This is what you learn, being more committed to yourself. So that way you could have this solar plexus chakra being activated, which is trusting in your own personal power, trusting in who you are. Your beliefs have been stronger. Your beliefs have been strengthened. The trust that you have for yourself, the confidence, the belief, is really what's really showing here, because this is right in the middle, and it's also with working through your fears. So that's really where you've gotten all the most power. You recognize the patterns. You recognize the situations that were hurting you. You recognize that you were being overly critical to yourself. And this made you start planning and actually working hard and being more diligent at actually working through these fears and paying attention to what was making you feel that way. So you may still have some of the toxic behaviors, but not quite, because this is what these toxic behaviors have actually caused you to do. They caused you to learn how to trust in yourself. Before you might have been worried in relationships, like, what if something happens? What if something doesn't go right? And now you're learning that you're free to believe. You're learning to let go of the will, to let go of that control, because you got Virgo energy here. We have Scorpio energy here. That's really like the main energy we have here. And we have, this could be Pisces energy here with Neptune, so it could be one of these signs, but you don't have to be. If anything, you'd be a person who fluctuates between being very dreamy or being very critical or being very analytical, of seeing seeing things practically, but also still kind of projecting on them with rose-tinted glasses, the things that you would hope they could be. So that's who you'd be in a theory, in a sense. You'd be a person who can see things for what they really are, but still place rose-colored glasses for what you hope they could be. You could be very romantic, very loving, slightly clingy, but give this level of not being super bothered by people, if that makes sense. All right. But you now trust in yourself. This is what you got from those negative habits, those toxic traits. You learn that you're not alone. You learn that basically the universe is always working for you in your favor. You learn now to trust in yourself. It's like you're clearing away energy and beliefs that no longer served you. You started recognizing those patterns that were keeping you in this cycle. And now you've learned to be more committed towards you and your goals and what it is that you truly want. You're learning to take time out to process those feelings of hurt or anger or aggression and resentment. All right. And now you got this energy of shit could be so much worse. Right. But you're like, okay, I'm okay with it. Things aren't that bad. They could be much worse. And so you have a feeling of gratitude these days. It's like you're here for a reason. Don't fuck it up, it says. So yeah, you have an energy of being here, of recognizing that you have purpose, recognizing that you are good enough and that you have things to offer. And now you're more committed to you, committed to the strength and to working through those fears and dealing with those emotional hurts that you've had for years, that you've kept seeing in past cycles and past relationships. You have a stronger inner worth and a stronger wherewithal. Like I'm looking at like almost like the strength card, of having that inner integrity and that inner courage and inner wisdom to know what's best for you when you trod forward. That's who you are now. All right. And that's what you picked up from those negative traits, the negative toxic traits that you were exercising. Okay. So this is your advice. Your advice says action. Drop all fear and just do it. You have the power to create and be whatever you truly want. Look inside your heart and take positive action in those things that bring you closer to achieving your desired goals. Nothing can stop you except your own fears. This card is positive confirmation from God and the angels that the time is right for you to start a new and exciting venture. So, pile 3, that was your reading. Thanks for watching. This your boy Noonie, and it's Leo in the 3rd house. Okay, so boom, pile 4. So pile 4 How have your toxic traits helped you this far? Oh, okay. This is what they did for you? This is okay. This is the sexual pile. This got you some partners somehow. Okay? So you must be a hard worker, but you're a person who runs away from heartbreak. When you get your feelings hurt, you take off. That's your negative trait. You're a person who has a lot of options, can't seem to choose or decide what it is that they want. That's the negative part about you. You live in a dream or a fantasy world, might be overly romantic. You're also a person who's very wistful or very whimsical. You know, you change your mind very often with the Seven of Cups and this Page of Wands. You're a person who has a lot of choices, a lot of options. You could be a Taurus, you could be a Capricorn, you could be a Scorpio, you could be a Libra, but I'm getting an energy of you being very harmonious, and always having a lot of options. You're probably a very good dresser. Could be a bit possessive with the things that you own, very materialistic. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but what you did get from that is an opportunity with lovers, because bouquet means lovers. It means having an opportunity with a lot of passionate lovers or like unexpected lovers. So you could be a person like that, but you're a person who runs away from feelings, runs away from hardship, runs away from being disappointed. And that's probably because you have a lot of options. That's your negative toxic trait, having a lot of choices and not deciding who you really want or what you really want, as well as this bouquet, which has to do with like illicit lovers. So you have like a lot of options. Just say that. You have a lot of options. You know, you're very good, you're very comfortable, you're very reliable, you like luxury, you know, and now what these negative toxic traits have done for you is allowed you to have options, allowed you to have choices, allowed you to have lovers. It's taught you, because it's time to release negativity can be sexy time. This is about lust, passion, sex. So this has actually made you more attractive sexually. It's made you more stable. It's made you actually go after the things that you really want to find a level of comfort and a level of stability. It's actually made you an enjoyer of the finer things, you know, of having the best. That's what it did for you. I think that's a great thing. I mean, you know, it could be bad. It could still be bad. Some people might not like you to have options. I don't know, bro. I don't know, sis. I think that you've gotten more opportunities now because of you being indecisive and not being quite sure what you want to do. See, this Page of Wands energy is very playful energy. It's also a child prodigy. Like, they're very creative. They're very warm. Like, they pick up on things very fast. You know, they're a person who pays attention to body mechanics. So you could be a person who pays attention to the way that people move or the way that people express themselves. But you're very inquisitive, and you're not inquisitive, but you're very outgoing, charismatic, warm, charming, you know, and you just kind of give this playful vibe of things aren't being that serious, and you're very harmonious. And that's what you've gotten from being very whimsical and very undecided about what to do with this Seven of Cups and this Three of Swords. You run away from situations where you could be hurt. You don't stay where you could be hurt, you know. Reevaluate and change your perspective or fucking quit. So your job might not be the best. So something about the way that you work, because you got hard work is paying off and releasing negativity. So I'm getting that from this, it's actually taught you how to gain the better things from actually working hard and staying diligent or staying committed to one task at hand. So by being undecisive and being unable to choose or decide, it's actually brought you in more options, but it's also brought you to finer things in life and a flow of a beneficial reward. It's actually put you into the flow of life. It's giving you better luck, better opportunities, you know, because it's trying is like ease, positivity. Like, so life has gotten easier for you because of these toxic traits, because of you not being able to choose what you want to do, where you want to go, how you want to be. It's allowed you to get options in love. And it's allowed you to be able to get like the finer things in life in terms of like material and physical and stability of worth. And, you know, it has come from like hard work and from like a lot of emotional hurt, but you run away from that. So I don't know how long you really deal with that, but it's gave you a lot of choices and emotions, choices in love, like choosing how you want to feel. It's gave you that ability to choose what type of experience you want to enjoy, or choose what type of experience you want to indulge in, because Taurus is a sign of indulgence, sometimes overindulgence. So it's gave you the opportunity of choosing what type of people you want to indulge in. It gave you options, my man, my girl. It gave you options. You're welcome. That was a great move. I mean, maybe it wasn't. Maybe you like to be celibate, and maybe you don't want other opportunities to, you know, meet new people or meet like that's not how. See, this card represents the lovers, like actual explicit sexual lovers. But It doesn't have to be in terms of like when the Seven of Cups doesn't have to be necessarily intimate lovers. But because these other cards are here, I would say that that's what came out for you. You became more attractive. You became more financially stable. You became more like you learned how to express your emotions or express when you're hurt. Now you just leave from situations that hurt you. You let go of the resentment, you know, but your toxic trait was just that you just couldn't really figure out what it was that you wanted, and you would run from any situation that appeared to be able to disappoint you or break your heart. And that gave you better options. It gave you better opportunities. It gave you the finer things in life, the luxuries, the comforts, the stability, the pleasures, the lovers, you know. It allows you time to release the negativity, the stress that you were carrying. And it all came from your hard work, from being reliable, being steady, being persistent, like really putting the time and the effort into the things that you really cared about and being diligent, you know, not turning away from the task at hand, because Taurus and Capricorn are very hard-working signs. So you could be a Taurus, you could be a Capricorn, you could be a Libra, could be a Scorpio. Those are the energies I'm seeing very prevalent here, you know. But it did make you a bit overindulgent. I will say that. So if you have options, you're a bit overindulgent. How about that? All right. Now, you may not be, but I'm just telling you how it would appear from the outside that you would be very indulgent. But I got receptivity. So yes, this is your sacral chakra. So very receptive to sexual energy and as well as giving. So in order for you to receive, you have to be able to give. It has to be a cyclical flow where you receive and you're able to give. In order for you to receive, you have to be open. So you have to be able to allow it out. And this harmony right here, so it's like a personal power. You naturally know how to bring harmony to relationships now because of you being so indecisive and so, I guess, scary of being disappointed. Now you know how to be more receptive. You know, so you might still slightly be guarded and you might still slightly be over impulsive or like blowing up with your emotions, you know, from time to time, you know, because there's an energy of that because you are quite still kind of afraid of maybe commitment, or you're afraid of like dealing with some of the inner emotional turmoil that you've had from the past. You might not quite, you know, worked your way all the way through it, you know, but now you're learning a little bit of how to open your heart. You might be having issues at work because it's saying reevaluate, change your perspective, or fucking quit. And then you have get your head out of your ass, pronto. And then you have no one wants to listen to that shit. Complaining makes you weak. You have the strength to change the world, so do it. So this might have been like the negative habits that you possibly, like the toxic habits that you're probably currently still indulging in and that you might be getting over, or that you're currently like, you know, moved past. You might just been out of that stage now or out of that pattern and cycle, but it allowed you to be more receptive to getting more options, you know? So, you know, a lot of secret lovers, a lot of secret liaisons, a lot of relationships that could have possibly turned into like long-term relationships or just could have been short-term flings. That's what it brought for you. That's what it did for you. All right. It allowed you to just feel yourself. It allowed your heart to just be open. It allowed you to be more receptive of the things that you really wanted. It allowed you to get the best of the best, the finer things in life, you know, from being undecisive and being afraid of being hurt and running from these situations. Allowed you to get the better options, the best choices, the best opportunities. You know, that doesn't sound like so bad of an, you know, it's so bad. I mean, you know, it's like if I'm running away from $1 million and that's all I seem to do is fall into $1 million, I don't see why I would run away from $1 million. I mean, I don't see why I would, you know, not run away from it. It makes perfect sense to me, you know, but okay. So here's your advice. Your advice says, encouragement. Your love is invaluable to the earth and to those around you. Even though you may not always see the positive effect your love has on others, trust, for it does. Each time you offer love through a loving gesture, thought, or word, you plant a seed of love. And love always generates more love. Trust and continue your loving work. So, Pile 4. That was your reading. Thanks for watching. This your boy Noonie, and this is Leo in the third house. Yo. All right, y'all, I'm out of here.